And good morning to you, each and every
Also
one
you.
of you. It is August the 30th in the year of our COVID 2020. Glad you're here this morning. Before we go any further, we need to have a reading from the book of Bro. I neglected to do one last week.
I noticed that.
My apologies. I will
It's
do
still
two
got
this
the whole
week.
show.
Very brief. Two. Brethren, a bro never divulges the existence of a bro code to a woman. It is a secret document not to be shared with chicks for any reason.
Ooh, that's harsh.
And finally, this morning, a bro never sends a greeting card to another bro. There are no sentiments between two bros that cannot be articulated through the convenience and emotional distance of electronic mail. Sending an email or messaging is perfectly okay.
Well,
And that be a reading
bros, ain't nobody got time for that anyway.
from the book. Bro, glad you're here. Oh, please, Ronnie, tell everyone to be seated.
Go ahead, and you may be seated. Melanie's here this morning, and Rick.
Oh, I got to get that on my thing here. See, I say a few more hellos there while I'm trying to get it there.
Sasha and Randy are both here.
Okay.
Randy, I hope your wife's feeling better. Jason's working this morning. Oh my gosh. What the hell?
What's the matter?
Jason's working this morning, so he can't be there. They had a big day yesterday. They went out and hid some treasure.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's another successful treasure hunt. I was working. This whole week was crazy. I worked so much this week, I can't even believe it. I worked 3 12-hour days.
Wow.
One of our canine handlers, he hurt his back, and so I've been working his dog this week. And he's such a good dog. His name is Augie.
Oh, I think you've mentioned him before.
Yeah, I love him. And I actually brought him home to meet my wife, and we played a little catch on the front lawn. And then his handler lives up in Placerville, and they don't have any grass.
Mm.
So when he came home to my house and saw my lawn, he got down on his back and he rolled around and kicked his feet up. He was having a good time on my front lawn.
Yeah, it sure makes practical sense to me that you and Vicky decided on that. It's a bit odd, a little offbeat in the sense that none of the other ones have it that I've seen. I could be wrong.
No. Most of the other houses in the neighborhood have gone with the xeriscaping. So everything's drought tolerant, but we really wanted lawn for the dogs to be able to run on. So,
Yep.
And they do, they love it.
And there's no raking involved.
I have a blower that I blow the leaves off with. That's it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And no cutting. Never needs to be cut.
Right. All right. Well, please be seated, as Ronnie said. And thanks. We're glad that you're here. I hope you didn't stand that whole time. That would be pure silliness.
Yeah.
If at any time, due to age or any, what would Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies call him, any afflictions.
Yes.
She always seemed to have the same prescription for everything. Did you ever notice that?
It came out of a brown jug.
Yeah, it did. And it probably had 3 X's on the front. Granny, she didn't mess around, man. And as big as Jethro was, god dang, she had him under her thumb.
He couldn't take Granny. There's no way. He couldn't even take Ellie Mae.
Oh, hell no.
No.
Yeah, she took after Granny.
Yeah, Ellie Mae could whoop his butt.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
And
Maybe
she was,
even
oh
maybe
gosh, she was
even
so cute.
the Duke boys. She could probably take
Yeah.
on both the. Hey, there's a fight pay-per-view.
The Duke boys meet the Beverly Hillbillies.
Hey, Ronnie, those Duke boys is at it again.
I can't even imagine how many old Chargers they crashed and wrecked. And
Oh, I did see that number somewhere. It was very significant, like over 300.
that's why they're so valuable now, because they wrecked so many of them.
They wrecked their way right into classic cardom
Yep.
and desirability,
Yep.
which is a whole nother show, I would think. But
Sasha says she's going to be dog sitting for the next month. Wow. That's a big undertaking.
I might have seen that dog. Is it some kind of husky?
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't even see what the heck I'm doing here. Morning.
Let's
Morning.
see.
Love
Oh,
dogs.
Tisha's here now. Tisha made it in.
Uh-huh.
Oh, the cement pond. Melanie wants to know if we remember the cement pond.
Oh, yeah, especially when Ellie Mae would be sunbathing out there by the pond.
Yeah, with her critters.
Hey, you can overlook things. You know, it depends on the girl. I've said a lot of things. Watch that go down as the one quote for me that they refer to after I'm gone.
Yes. Well, hey, that's okay.
It's a tiny terrier, she says. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. Otis Magoo says, hi, good morning. Sakara's with us today. Boy, we've missed you.
You know, a terrier with their cat, that should be good fun.
The what with my cat?
A terrier with their cat, because they have a cat plays.
You know what? That could be the opening bout for Granny and Ellie Mae.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
prelim.
Them two critters going at it.
What is that organization called? What is it? The punching, kicking.
Oh, the W.
Forget it.
WFC.
Somebody will fix it in post production.
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
going to worry about it. Hey, just have one question. Who do we have in post production?
He's been off for a couple weeks.
Oh,
yeah.
But you're telling me we have somebody in place to do that, right?
For sure.
Okay, good. All right. Well, then I won't worry about it.
Sure.
I'm gonna let you handle that. This is pure silliness.
You know what? Melanie is a little upset because we didn't mention that she was first in. So congratulations, Melanie. You definitely beat Rick by minutes.
I see that right at 8:00.
Yeah.
I see that now. UFC
Suck our God.
263. Granny versus Ellie Mae. Opening bout.
I'm going to give the edge to Granny.
I think I'd go with Granny as well.
She's crafty. She's not strong, but she's crafty.
You know, much like the wrestling, Granny would grab a broom and she'd just beat the crap out of the other guy with a broom.
Yeah.
Ellie Mae, you know.
Got a foreign object in her boots.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be Granny.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So Melanie was indeed first, and that's awesome. Thought about maybe taking today off.
Oh.
And then I thought, you know what? There's a lot of people that, I mean, this has become part of their Sunday morning. And if we just go taking days off all willy-nilly, you know.
It's a good break for me also. I'm happy to be here instead of at work.
Yeah, there you go. Makes sense.
I have to get up at 4 a.m.
to
be there by 5, and it's that's tough. So I'm used to sleep, and the dogs usually let me sleep till about 7.
I was up exactly at 4 this morning.
Holy crap!
Mm-hmm. And I fall asleep with the television on, and it was on MTV. So overnight, my brain was saturated with the VMA Awards for 2020.
Oh, nice.
And the theme song to Ridiculousness blaring. You know how that happens where, the TV volume for the show itself is good, but the music comes in blasting,
Yes.
That's what
And
it
or
sounds
commercials.
like.
Commercials always come out louder also.
Yeah.
At work, we have, we do watch Ridiculousness at work, but we watch it with no volume because none of us can stand the way that woman laughs. I don't know what her name is.
Her name is Chanel West Coast.
Sure it is.
She is pretty hot little number. But I have millennials in my house, 3 of them.
Yeah.
And not only have they seen every episode, much as I have, but they know all the little idiosyncrasies because that was a big deal for a while. It was a fad watching that show.
Okay.
So they've seen them, which is so funny because for me, I haven't. And they're all
any of
virtually
them
new.
Imitate her laugh?
Can I? I don't want to try. I've got people sleeping here.
Yeah. Well, it's just kind of annoying. It's
imagine a dolphin like Flipper.
Well, and do you know Maria Menounos? I think.
I've heard her laugh. She was on Ridiculousness too.
Oh, was she?
Mm-hmm.
Her laugh is Ridiculousness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hers might be the most extreme crazy laugh ever.
I wouldn't doubt it. Okay, so coming up this morning on the program, we will be conducting our Fantasy Draft. And we have a team. They're called the Fantasy Fan Draft people.
Yes.
I don't make these things up.
Doesn't sound like it.
No. We have a staff of people.
It sounds well rehearsed and tight.
Yeah. Oh, they're like a no squeak machine.
We discussed all this in pre-production.
Right. You remember I talked to you about that and you said, oh, that's whatever. So
at the meeting. Yeah. So that's what we went with.
Yeah. And it's on Zoom, so nobody pays attention to it anyway. So we took the staff.
Highly paid. Couple of interns.
They came up with this and in a nick of time, honestly. And believe it or not, you know how long ago we used to say we don't take suggestions from listeners?
Right.
Every so often, now and again, something comes past the desk and you go, well, if I don't ever have one of those, just to be a good one. That's it today. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going.
And you know what? Our listeners do have some pretty good ideas. It's just that we don't always bend to good ideas. We're like, hey, let's throw a couple bad ideas out there. That would probably be fun too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the best. Especially on Carson. Growing up, I'm watching Johnny Carson.
Oh, yeah.
When a bit went bad and the fourth wall came down, no one was better.
I mean, there were no bad bits, really. There were just good reactions to bad bits.
I'd have to agree with you there.
Yeah.
All right. So today it's going to be best mall food court stores, for lack of a better term.
Restaurants.
Well, what if the restaurant is a cookie place? That's not a restaurant.
Okay. Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's, like we did in pre-production, let's decide on let's decide on the rules as we go.
Okay.
So it's either a store or a restaurant. Okay. That's all inclusive, store or restaurant.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't want to influence somebody that has a bakery. And maybe not food. Well,
right.
Sandwiches or anything,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to put Claire's in there or anything like that, or Weeby beads or whatever it is. Something you can eat, I think, would be most appropriate. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because, and honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but I think this week having the number one pick is muy importante.
Paramount.
Yes. Because the number one came screaming at me as soon as you said this. I know exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Now the first one I wrote down is the one you're thinking of. I know it is.
Pretty sure the number one is going to turn the tide for whoever picks it. So
Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay, so that's coming up in moments. Got something I want to. We try to stay away from the politics and such. And if there's some time in this hour, we might take on a couple of issues, including the big convention that just ended and took place. But trying to keep it on the light side.
Was that the comic book convention? Because I thought they canceled that. It's down in San Diego every year, Comic-Con.
No, not Comic-Con, Ronnie.
Okay.
It wasn't that convention.
Oh, okay.
Although many of the people that
convention?
attended probably, you say them, see in the Sunday comics. Remember that saying? Yeah. My Uncle Bob used to say that all the time. See you in the Sunday funnies. All right. Yes, Sakar, that's the one. The one that we will be dueling for.
That's a good one. So
our rock, paper, scissors, or odd, even, whatever we decided to be today, is very important. Because as you know, the person that wins can either go first or defer. And you say, well, what's the benefit of that?
Well, if there are two that make up maybe a stronger team than the first one, then that might be the best way to go. And sometimes
you got to think about that.
Yeah.
Like I said, we don't go just picking these all willy-nilly.
No.
Research goes into this. Countless hours, a team.
Yeah, this is science. Science.
You know how I love the science. And as of last week, I'm extremely hip with the kids.
Oh, absolutely.
I saw the numbers. We should be very proud. Talking about them at what's his name? Billy Eyelash. That guy rocks.
Yeah, I think that's a woman, Billy, and I'm not sure it's Eyelash, but it's close. Yeah.
Well, I got it written down here. I just don't have my glasses on this morning.
Well, you're close enough.
You'd think so.
Yeah. Yep.
Hit with the kids.
Super.
If nothing else, I am hip with the kids.
Oh, you're totally boss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm doing? I'm moving the meter.
That reminds me, I have to go feed the meter.
Jack weighs in on the live chat and says, Lou, let's go Mets. Two back-to-back games on today, and both are free. MLB app on Roku. Hey, I don't have Roku, but I do have MLB, and I don't have a smart TV. I just have a big-ass one. It's just big.
Yeah.
Maybe I could get it out, because that would be cool. Do you pay for Roku?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Roku is like a stick. And
oh, yeah, that sounds familiar. Bless you, Ron. Bless you.
I feel another one.
Bless you again. That's a good one too, Ron.
Woo!
Together we got you through that. You all right?
Yeah.
Do you need some water?
I feel like I need a cigarette.
Don't do that to me. It was the furthest thing in my mind at that particular moment, and you brought me there. Yeah. Still cigarette free, by the way.
Sasha says I might have the Rona.
It's very possible, Ronnie. I mean, you
Yeah.
have been working a lot.
Yes.
And God knows we can't be in the same room 6 feet apart, right?
No. No, absolutely not. Nope. So here we are, about 14 miles apart.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Hey, so speaking of sports, and I know you watched last night,
Oh, yeah. Let's talk NASCAR.
the NASCAR race.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, you know what? It was unbelievable until, what was it, 10 to go or something?
Yep.
When the number 8 car
Yep.
caused the big one.
Mm-hmm.
God dang, that pissed me off. Although it did open the door for some guys on the bubble who
Just not
squirted
the one,
through.
not the one we wanted, though.
No. I was super, super pulling for the 48. God damn, I'm going to miss him. He's such a classy act. Have you ever heard? I never followed NASCAR super close up until the last 5 years or so, but has he ever been in a heated battle with anybody where they didn't like Jimmy Johnson?
Not that I immediately recall.
I don't remember. He's never in the news for, hitting his wife or, he got caught shoplifting or some stupid little thing. He's just really, what a classy dude.
Well, while we're on the topic, I could not help but notice last night as they were racing from Daytona, Florida, they actually did have a lightning strike during the very early part of the race. And so NBC, who was broadcasting the race, had to take all their cameras down off the roof. And so they had very few cameras covering the race, although some of them were from inside the car, which is really a great perspective.
That might be the best place to cover a race anyway. So I'm okay with that.
They have apps for that as well, where you can actually see the dashboard of the driver that you like to follow.
Yep.
There was a chance, albeit remote, that Jimmy Johnson was going to make it into the playoffs. He was really, and there's a point to the math here, he was like 3 points, 2 points. He was 3 points in the good, then he was 3 points in the bad, and then it was fluctuating, and you could see it live as it was happening. And it really, the reason I give you that math is because it really indicates how much different NASCAR has become as a sport. And maybe not quite as deep as, say, they do in baseball now. Have you ever watched one of those StatCast games, Ronnie?
No.
You don't know what that is?
No.
Well, they did it last week, as I recall, with a Yankee game. I think it was a doubleheader. And they put it on ESPN1 and ESPN2. On one, it's more of a user-friendly, guys are describing the action. That ball is back. It's out of here. You had that. As opposed to more of a statistical sort of a hybrid show that shows that this guy has hit 4 home runs when he's had 3-0 counts. So the chances are good that the manager is going to give him the go-ahead swing on this pitch.
Wow. That's taking it to a whole new level.
It really is, and it's like if you give it a chance, you'll be able to decide, you'll be able to decide really for yourself whether you like it or you don't. And, older demographics don't normally like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's all stats. But, there are still some people that keep score at home while they're watching a game on TV.
Holy cow. You know what? I used to have to keep score during some softball games. And and we didn't keep like a full scorebook, we didn't count every ball and strike. I can't imagine trying to keep, although I would imagine now that computers probably do most of that. I don't know, but they really do. They track everything. They track every ball, every strike,
bat speed, pitch speed.
Yes. And on the subject of that, you know what? I kind of would be okay with them kind of doing away with home plate umpire and just calling balls and strikes with the computer, with the box.
Is your point accuracy?
It's more for accuracy, and that it's the same across the board for both teams. Sometimes,
but specific to the batter's height.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody should have the same size strike zone, regardless of height. If you're 6'10", you should still have the same strike zone as somebody who's, 5'8" or whatever. And so I think that I don't think it should be scalable for the size of the person. And I know it used to be, what was it? The letters to the belt or something used to be the strike zone. Bottom of the letters to the top of the belt.
Right.
You know what? I think just a strike zone that they can superimpose anywhere. And if the ball's inside there or hits the line even, that's a strike.
Yeah.
It makes it, it's difficult enough. I used to pitch in a little league, and it's hard enough to throw that ball. And I would just drill them right down the middle, because kids aren't good enough really to throw a ball that's thrown pretty fast, even if it's grooved right down the middle of the plate. So I don't know. I just think that it would be a little bit more universal across the board. That's just me. I know not everybody likes that.
Jack says, I don't like it. Changing the purity of the game. The ump is a major part of every game.
I think he should still be there to call plays at the plate or to call a balk, or, there are certain things that the home plate umpire still is absolutely valuable for. But I think balls and strikes is so subjective, and some umps have a high strike zone and some have a wide strike zone. And sometimes it varies from inning to inning.
Well, that's what the players complain about most, is consistency.
Yep. So I think it would be, we have the technology to do it. I think that you got to do it. And I would have never been a fan initially of going back and looking at a replay to see if the guy was safe at first. Hey, however the ump calls it at first was good enough. But you know what? It changes games. If an ump gets a call wrong at a base, it can change the whole game. And I think that's the same way with balls and strikes. So,
well, I think you addressed both of his items there. Changing the purity of the game, and the ump is a major part of every game. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna disagree with you on this one. I think it's important to have a human. And sorry, humans make mistakes. I'm no different.
No doubt.
Yeah. All right, some of the quotes here. Otis says Jimmy Johnson is a great driver, but he's too vanilla. That's what people say. He's too vanilla. Yeah, but he was a great champion in a time when we needed a great champion.
And I think Tony Stewart was probably a little bit at the other end of that spectrum. Also an unbelievably great driver, but a little bit too fiery maybe for some people. And I think that both unbelievably talented drivers, they won at every level they've ever competed in. But give me Jimmy Johnson over Tony Stewart. That's just me.
Well, we're almost at a point where you could figure out how that person's record is on each size track, from a half mile on up to 2.5 miles. And they break it down for you statistically in fantasy NASCAR fantasy, which we did for a couple of seasons.
We did do that. It was kind of fun, but you dominated, and so people lost interest.
I know. You're at a disadvantage against me because I was a racetrack announcer.
Yep.
And so I always had to have my finger on the pulse of racing in general.
Well, and it was tougher for me because I just go by who's hot. Like right now, if you don't take Harvick or Hamlin,
Denny Hamlin,
yeah, if you don't choose them to win any race, you're probably out of it. And but there are guys that excel at certain racetracks. Certainly Daytona. Danny Hamlin kills at Daytona. He's a monster at Daytona. But not everybody knows that. Do people go back that play fantasy NASCAR and go back and look at his record at a particular track? Probably not. And that's what you should do.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Again, see a little insight into being a track announcer too. You got to know your stuff.
Right.
So you got to figure.
What makes it difficult for people? They choose the hot driver, not necessarily the driver that's historically great at a particular track.
Mm-hmm.
So even somebody that's not having a great season, if they know the groove of that track, they can win. They can win from anywhere. It's like even Kozlowski yesterday. He was in it up until that big crash.
Yeah.
He was in the thick of it.
Well, that brings us to a interesting topic, which is that I believe my wife came into the room where I was watching the race at about the 3/4 point, and nothing had happened in terms of wreck.
Right.
And as big of fans as you and I are, and certainly it's okay if I'm a bigger fan of racing. I mean, I know you love it, and you know that I love it.
Yep.
So 2 levels, it doesn't matter. What I was thinking about is how boring that race was at Daytona up until about the 3/4 point.
Well, and now this goes back also to the stage racing. I was not a big fan when they first started doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it, but I think honestly, it has made it a little bit more exciting because a lot of guys would just coast until there's 30 or 40 laps to go, just bide their time and then start racing. Well, now you got to race the whole race.
Yeah. Or 3 parts of a race.
Or 3 parts of a whole race. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that it really does. It has added, I think, a little bit of excitement to the race for me, at least.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just want to say still that I don't watch the racing for the crashes.
No.
I've said it before. For many, many reasons, I love each and every one of those guys.
Yeah.
And, maybe I know more about one than another, but it's not really the point. When you're a racing fan and you truly love seeing stuff race against other stuff, that's what it is when you separate it. It's the caveman, I'm sure, used to do it. Who was the fastest caveman? In any case, you love them all and you don't want to see anybody get hurt. That's why the Ryan Newman Daytona crash was, it was touch and go there for a while.
Well, and even when he crashed yesterday, I'm sure everybody held their breath for a minute.
Yeah, and then when he waved to the crowd,
he climbed out under his own power, and
he looked pretty pissed off.
There was a collective sigh. Oh, he did. He was mad, and rightly so. That was the craziest move ever. either he or his spotter got it way wrong, and I think it was him. I can't imagine the spotter would tell him that he could move up the track that fast, and it was a crazy, risky move and total rookie move, and it ended up causing the biggest crash of the day. So
Otis asks about Kyle Busch and how he hasn't won a race this year, and he's the defending champion.
Although he's been in almost every race, he's just something or another just pops up. He gets sucked into a crash. I mean, his car's always good. He's always good. Both of the Busch brothers are always right in the thick of it.
Yeah.
But
they both crashed into one another yesterday.
Yeah, it's not their year. It's just not. I don't even know. I watched, but I can't remember. Are either of them in the playoff race?
Yeah, Kyle Busch is. And I think Kurt Busch is too. But he's probably down there around 16, maybe around 13 or so.
You just got to be in there. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just got to be in it. So.
All right. Well, there is our NASCAR talk for today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That
was a good race, though. It was a good race.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
Yep.
But like I said, it was pretty boring for the first 3 quarters or so. It was just a bunch of guys driving in a straight line, pushing one another from behind.
Yep.
And those can be grueling. So, all right. Let's do our Manatee draft right now.
Yes.
Okay. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let's see. Where is my pen? Right here. I'm going to write down a number between 1 and 10.
Okay.
And I'm going to let you pick.
All right.
Hold on. Let me think.
Wait a minute. You know what? How about you just write down odd or even, and then we'll do odd and evens again.
Okay. All right.
You wrote down even because it was too many letters for odd.
I wrote down all 3 of my choices.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And what do we just do? A 1, right?
I mean, 1 or
our count.
You put out a 1 or a 2.
Right. Okay. And here we go. And up and down. Odd.
Okay.
Did anybody pick?
Oh, you were going to write down.
Oh,
I thought you were going to write down.
odd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So then we go second round.
Okay.
And I'm going to go. Okay. I'm ready. Ready? And up.
Yep.
And down.
Even.
Okay. So you win the second round.
All right.
And the
Tied
last, this one busts up the tie. And I know what I'm doing. And up and down.
Oh!
No, you win.
Dang.
I had odd. I had even, and you threw odd.
Yes. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you're the winner,
Yes.
so you get to pick first.
Perfect.
After all of the hoopla there, we're going to draft now our 3 best items from the category, which is best mall food court, be they stores or be they restaurants. All right?
Yeah.
And Ronnie gets to go first with the first pick in the first round.
I mean, this is like taking Peyton Manning. I'm taking Cinnabon first round.
Another effer.
Yeah. You know what?
Right.
I'm on this keto thing, but when I walk into the mall and I smell Cinnabon, I'm like in I'm hypnotized. I'm just like, take me to Cinnabon. The smell
Just take my money.
is almost as good, if not better, than the food itself.
Okay, so now I will go second in the first round and first in the second round, and they will be.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Steak Escape.
Oh, that's a good one.
And my first pick in the second round will be any good pretzel store.
Pretzel, yep.
Okay. Ronnie, you got Cinnabon. Now remember, you're going to vote for us who you believe has drafted the best 3 items on the list. Once again, food court, best mall, stores, or restaurants.
Okay. For the second pick in the second round,
Yep.
Panda Express. Panda's good. That orange chicken. Ho ho. Yep.
You know, maybe I should just try that once. Because I would
You've
get
never
orange.
had Panda?
No, it's not. I usually get pork or beef.
Oh, the orange chicken is
Rarely do I get
crazy.
chicken.
It's crazy.
I'm just not a big fan.
There's something about it. And in fact, I found the recipe on the internet and I made it here at home. It took me probably like 4 hours, but it did taste just like it. And then I had like 18 messy pots and pans. Like, forget it. I'm just going to go buy it.
Right.
And
I could have been back and eating it.
yeah. And then for my first pick in the third round, I'm going with Sbarro. Sbarro.
I think I saw something on that.
It's good. It's really, really good.
What? Let's see if I have that from Wags. No, I don't have that. Okay. What do they serve there, Ronnie?
It's like Heroes and I don't know. It's food court food.
Thank you. That was very thorough.
Yeah.
All right. So my final pick will be well, I'm going to need a drink, so I'm going to go ahead and go with Orange Julius.
Oh, that's a good one.
And I did some research, and that's not limited to just Sacramento. It is around the country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? When I go to Orange Julius, I always get the strawberry.
That's not really the theme of the restaurant.
I think the strawberry is superior to the orange. I don't know.
Strawberry Julius?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just me.
All right. So let's get to the voting now, my friends.
Okay.
We have given our choices. Ronnie has Cinnabon, Panda Depress, and Sparrow. And I have Steak Escape. Oh, imagine that melty cheese on top of that steak. Oh, that grilling. Oh.
Pretty good.
I picked Wetzel's Pretzels because that would be like a little bit of an appetizer to get you ready, you know. And with that rock salt. Oh, man, if I only had that sound. Okay, and then I have Orange Julius to wash it all down with. It's the complete meal. I'm sorry. My lips are watering as we speak.
If only you had the smell of Cinnabon, you might be able to win.
I believe I have a better team than just Cinnabon. I believe I do.
Okay, so it's so the voting has started. I've got 2. You've got 1. Oh, you've got 2. There's a hot pastrami sandwich from the outside vendor in Frisco. I've never done that.
Boy, that sounds good.
Lou, you've just stepped ahead. Oh, now it's tied. Let's see. Oh, now I'm ahead. Oh, this is funny because Tisha and Matt are split. Tisha gives it to me. Matt gives it to you. You know, Matt, I thought me and you had something. Really? You're going to go with Lou? All right.
See, he doubts you, Matt. I don't. Christine
Sicker gives it to me. It's 5-3.
Randy says Lou has it. Steak followed with Orange Julius. Incredible.
Yeah, okay.
We got a tight race here, Ronnie.
4. We may have to flip for it, says Christine. I don't know. I'm got you by 1. Oh no. Otis just pushed you over the. Okay, so now it's all tied up, 5
Okay.
each.
All right. You see how
Boy,
important your
this is
votes
going
are.
down to the wire.
You see how important your votes are here. Could
Yeah,
make or
every
break
vote
this
counts.
decision right now. This is a democracy. And we believe in what people believe. And what
Okay,
right.
Larry.
I'm sorry?
Okay, Larry gives it to you.
Okay. Have to go with Ronnie, says Cray.
Oh, thank you. Oh, dang it. 6-6. My gosh. Dang. This is tight. This is like 3 to go last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can never be sure how the vote is going to go, whether it can be swayed one way or another. But it's so important. If nothing else, we're establishing with you how important your vote is today in America.
Yes. Oh, boy, exactly. Yeah.
With all due respect to my competitor, and he has a good team, there's no question, but nobody wants it more than I do.
You know what? A vote for me is a vote for Cinnabon.
Jim Series says, thanks for keeping the politics out. We're not done yet. Mark votes Ronnie. Who's Mark?
That's Christine's man.
Okay.
So now it's 7-6. I'm up. Shame on my man, she
Next
says.
one will be a Lou vote. I can feel it right now. If you haven't voted yet, don't vote twice. Because you know what? Ronnie will not put up with that.
No, you'll be suspended for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, you won't be able to vote.
I don't think he won't do it. He's already done it.
Right. I am the commissioner of fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So.
And don't think
no
I don't know.
voting.
I know.
You don't want the wrath of the commissioner coming down on you.
Randy says it's Trump's fault.
Everything is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. The troubles for the last 50 years that the country's had.
Yeah.
It's been Trump.
Well, I think you got to go back a couple hundred years, and that's still his fault.
Yeah. Well, there is that, Ronnie. But remember, we got in trouble for going back 4 decades.
True enough. Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Well, I think the votes have stopped. I mean,
I know what happened, people.
If you have not voted, that's quite a turnout, though. There's 13 there. That's a pretty good turnout for the voting.
I'm thinking that maybe we need a recount.
Yeah, let's see. Anybody?
Sabaro, yeah. Looks
I don't
like
know.
a tie, says Jack. It's like kissing your sister.
Yeah, a tie. Nobody wants.
Mm-mm. Jim Series says recount. Okay, well, we'll have to go back and do that, but we can't do it right now. We got stuff we got to get to.
Yeah. I think until further notice, I'm going to take the win, and then we'll discuss it next week. We'll go back and recalculate, make sure nobody voted twice.
Did you consult with me on that at all?
No, I just made a.
Oh, you just made the
proclamated.
Rule. Oh, well, if you made the rule, then I guess I have no choice.
Being the commissioner, I'm well within my rights.
So you the ultimate, you just take the win, not like pending.
Look, Jim Theory says the recount vote for Ron. So he may have gone through and done that. Yeah.
Otis, you can't mail in your vote.
Yeah. Well, I think, like I said, I think we'll agree to agree that I win, and then we'll talk about it next week.
So I can't do any celebrating whatsoever this whole weekend. You can.
Correct.
It doesn't seem fair.
Bottom line.
It does not seem fair to me.
It is what it is. Of course, everything is what it is, isn't it? Really?
You know what? I'm going to play this game under protest. Okay, let it be duly noted that I am weighing in here and now and saying that this election has been swayed, and I'm demanding a
Noted.
recall, and that no winner should be allowed to announce themselves without further input from all of the other teams. All of the other teams.
Okay, Larry wants to know if we checked for hanging chads. We didn't. We'll have to go back and check for hanging chads. There might be one.
I don't see any on my side, but you know, I don't know. I can't see your side. All
And
right.
Lou's not going to take a knee. He would never take a knee. No, that's not happening.
All right. Okay, I'll yield it to Ronnie.
I might have had, there may have been some Russian, collusion in there. I'm not saying there was, but I'm not saying there wasn't. So,
Well, I have no choice, but I concede. That's all I can do. All right, Ronnie. Your neighborhood is much smaller than mine,
yes.
and in my neighborhood, as I was walking out, I saw a Biden sign on somebody's front lawn.
Wow.
And I'm not going to make a political statement here,
Right.
but what I want to talk about is the sociology of the posting a sign. Why is it that you feel compelled to perhaps alienate 50% of your neighbors? Because that's what happens when you put out one of those signs. You are judged.
Yeah.
And you could be judged a couple of ways, maybe more than two. But in either case, why would one subject themselves to something like that if they didn't want to try to sway everybody to vote their own way?
And in my neighborhood, and my neighborhood is pretty diverse. It's mainly upper middle class in my actual homeowners association. But just outside that, there's a lot of duplexes and apartments and what have you. And on one of the duplexes, there is a Trump 2020 sign that has to be probably 10 feet wide and 6 feet tall, maybe, plastered to the side of a guy's duplex. And again, hey, you're free to express your opinion, but your opinion could get your house firebombed. So I don't like, and we try not to delve too deep into politics in here, other than to maybe say right now that you're either red or you're blue, and there's not much area in between right now. And there's so many people that are so, I don't want to use the word triggered, but I can't really think of a better word. If somebody's not voting the way that you think they should vote, it causes a lot of hurt feelings.
Judgment.
And so for that reason,
absolutely, judgment.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons we try to keep this show as apolitical as possible.
Yeah. I mean, you've got lots of other choices, but there are times when we really have no choice. We have an election right around the corner here, and we have some feelings on that, which I think we hide a little bit. Yeah. But,
the biggest thing is, and this is why I am so against politics and sports right now. You look at the NBA. I think I'm done with the NBA. They have turned it into one big political arena. All I'm trying to do is watch something on TV, anything that is not political. And the NBA crossed that line. I think the NFL, at least the 49ers, may have crossed that line also. They hung a Black Lives Matter flag next to the American flag and the California flag outside their Levi Stadium. So I think I'm done with the NFL also. I'm not going to watch something. I can turn on any TV or radio show anywhere, and I can hear more than I want to hear about politics. I'm trying to escape politics. And so sports has always been that safe haven that you could go to that is not political. Occasionally you'd have somebody write something, a player write something on their shoe. I'm fine with that. He's not standing out there, doing anything so overt that you can't take your eyes off of it. I'm fine with that. That is a pretty, that seems like a good way to go about it. But when players are wearing jerseys with slogans on it, and there can't be a Blue Lives Matter jersey or an All Lives Matter, then I'm over it. So that's my rant.
All right, cool. I just want to say that, and I don't want to repeat myself, it's important that you vote. Really, that's the only hope that we have. And what we want it to be is fair to everyone who votes. And there are a lot of things being said about whether the mail-in system is rigged or has the potential to be. That's not where I'm going with this. Where I am going is who you decide to vote for is up to you. And I'm never going to ask you. I'm not going to say, hey, who'd you vote for in the election? Why?
Right.
Because it's none of my business.
Right.
However, what I will say is, let's forego all of these party affiliations and vote for the person who you think would best represent us in the face of what is the future right now and a new normalcy. Who is going to do a better job? Forget whether they're a Democrat or they're a Republican. Vote that way, but vote knowledgeably. That's all I ask. In fact, I beg.
Yeah.
Make sure you're not just pulling
Honestly,
them.
Everybody's situation is different, and everybody's bank of information is different. Make sure you vote for whoever's best for you. And you know what? If somebody comes out and tells me that they voted for Trump or for Biden, I'm fine with it. I don't really care. Everybody gets their vote. Your vote and my vote is not going to change what your state does one way or another, very likely. It takes a collective group. And so certainly your vote is important, but your vote and I have my vote. And again, the way I'm voting may be because of my personal situation or my personal knowledge, and the way you vote is based on your personal knowledge and your personal situation. And I would never try to say that your vote, the person you're voting for, is wrong because, whatever list of reasons. It's important to you to vote. That's the bottom line.
Well, there you have it. I think that's going to wrap up our show for today. We're glad that you were here. We hope that you were entertained. Hope that you enjoyed our fantasy draft and our topics this morning. We didn't mean to get too heavy here. And I also want to thank, of course, the Book of Bro. Without the Book of Bro, where would we be?
It was right on this morning.
Just another YouTube show. All right. Our website is menaresosmart.com. All lowercase. One word. menaresosmart.com. Our Facebook page is @menaresosmart. Just a coincidence. Who knows?
Crazy how that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost looks like it was excellent marketing skills. But again, our credit goes to the
We know that's
staff.
not. Well, we know that's not the case.
Yeah,
So,
couldn't be that. All right. Some say that the best part of our show is us trying to sign off. Oh, I got a comment. Oh, crap. If I can get to that really fast. Hang on, Ronnie. Oh, here it is.
hang.
Okay. I'm 28. This is from Drew St. James.
Okay.
I'm 28 and have warm, short shorts forever. You two talk way too much and nothing to show for it.
It's because it's a show about nothing.
I think that's going to be my tombstone right there. You talk too much and nothing to show for it. Boy, if that ain't the story of our life. All right. So thank you very much. Be sure and subscribe to our channel. Like this episode. Give it a thumbs up. It doesn't cost you anything, and it just shows your support for the show. Ronnie, we got to get out of here. I'm Lou Gallagher.
I'm Corvette Ronnie.
And we'll see you on the very next Men Are So Smart.
Okay. Turn it off. Come on.